Welcome back to another action figure review. In this review, we're going to be taking a look at Hiya Toys Exquisite Mini Aliens Colonial Marines 1/18 scale action figure Hicks. This is the packaging that the action figure comes in. It comes in a small box. In front of the box, we have the very large window where you see the action figure and its accessories. We have the Aliens Colonial Marines here at the bottom, the Colonial Marines logo, the Hicks nameplate, and the Hiya Toys logo here on the bottom right. The bottom half of the packaging shows a very cool looking hive type design and color pattern. And here we have some of, on the sides, some parts of the aliens that are represented on the side of the box. This is some very nice artwork for this box. As you can see, it says Aliens Colonial Marines. Has a very nice lighted up eye there. Looks very cool. Both sides of the box are exactly the same. The top of the box says Exquisite Mini Aliens Colonial Marines. And it has a very nice looking alien or alien queen. It kind of looks like a queen to me, but on the bottom of the box just has that hive pattern. The back of the box, on the top, it has Exquisite Mini Aliens Colonial Marines. In the center, we have two product shots of the figure. These are recommended for ages 14 and up. These are marketed towards your adult collector. There is a warning here at the bottom left for tricking hazards for any children on the age of 3. These aren't recommended for children, but of course you can purchase your items as you please, but they're probably going to break them within the same day. Here in the bottom, we have the Hiya Toys information. 20th Century Fox, all rights reserved. There's a UPC on the bottom right. And Twitter and Facebook information for Hiya Toys. I love the pattern on the back. It shows more, makes it look like futuristic style pictures with these little corners here. Looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and take a look at him outside the box. So we got a clamshell. Inside the box we do have a product insert. Has a Colonial Marines logo. Looks really cool. Would be nice if you decide to use for a background for maybe your display cases. If you do put your figures in display cases. Here is Hicks in his clamshell. He does have just a little bit more accessories than Hudson and Quintero, but it's good. All you have to do is cut the tape and separate the two pieces here, and we'll take a look at the figure. Here is the figure. Looks pretty good. Pretty much the same suit as their Quintero and Hudson counterparts. Let's take a look at that head sculpt. As you can tell, these are painted figures. These are some of Hiya Toys' first offerings, and they are not perfect. As you can just see here, in the face versus the ear is two different skin tones. Looks like they just painted the face and left the ear alone. So he has his brown hair. His eyes are painted pretty good, and you can definitely see some paint issues on his forehead here, and here. It is far from perfect and not worth, maybe your $20 that you're going to pay for these figures when they were released. His face and head, basically, and his arms and hands here are all painted. You can see some issues with the joints. If you do bend the elbows, you rub the paint off in any areas, like here on the wrist or on the elbow joint, on the swivel, will lose its paint the more you actuate it. Like here and here. And then the more you put the weapons in and out of their hands, you're definitely going to do some rubbing off of the paint. But it kind of actually does look like the actor from the movie on sculpt wise. So he does have this I do like the pattern of camera he has on his vest. It looks very, very cool. I like the red and the black and the greens. They work together. But if you notice here, he has his name on his chest. This kind of looks like it has some wear. It is Hicks. I don't see a logo on this one. Quintero and Hudson had a logo on their chest. Unfortunately, Hicks does not. See shoulder pads and straps and belts. On the belt, he does have couple devices hanging here and here on this side. He has some kind of device here. Not sure what that is. The back of the figure. On the belt, he has some pouches, and he has this either a camera, a light. I am not sure what that's supposed to be, but that comes pretty standard on Hudson and Quintero also. And that is just pegged in. You can remove that if you pretty easily. It's not glued on. Down at his knees, he has the same pattern as his armor, and his shin guards here are pretty much strapped over his boots. He does have gray boots. His under outfit is more of a navy, have the navy blues and white, and it looks pretty good also for a camo pattern. So let's go and take a 360 look at the figure. On the side here, he does have his patch that also follows suit with Hudson and Quintero. These figures are really great for uniformity, but the playability is really lacking here. On this side, he does have the United States flag, which is great. Looks really cool. So we will definitely go with the articulation. I am very familiar with the articulation of these figures. It's just there's going to be a very little demonstration, so it won't take long for us to go through the articulation. But unfortunately, due to the paint issues and the stuckness of the joints, these are very hard to come by, and I really don't want to risk breakage. So, but his head is kind of on a joint, ball joint here. But when you rotate his head, we have some movement here, but not up in here. But you obviously can see that there's a joint there, and I'm betting it's paint stuck. That's why it's doing that. So you risk breaking anything unless you try to heat it up, and I'm actually a little timid about heating these up and trying to move it at all due to the painted style they went with. Shoulders on the ball joint, they will rotate all the way around if you remove the vest, and they will raise up straight out like this until it hits the top of the shoulder. But they are, again, it is stuck. You can hear it creaking. His elbows obviously bend. They are less than 90 degrees. This hand here gives you this motion, and this hand will give you the in and out part. But they are stuck, and of course, if you do anything, as you can see here, you will wear off that paint, lose the aesthetic of the figure. So this is why these are not very playable if you're trying to keep your figures in the best possible condition as possible. His lower legs here, he has a ball here and a ball here. Those are articulated. You can move those in a fashion. You hear the clicking. There is thigh rotation here and here. Hicks does come with double jointed knees. Fortunately, the joints are not painted to match his pants, and it does really become a eyesore. He lets me bend. Oh, he's gonna let me bend his leg. So there's that joint there. This one is not very friendly at all. It's stuck. This one is not going to let me move it either. So that gives you an idea for that joint. And if you bend this joint up, you'll get a pretty good range of knee bend. His feet have a pivot down, which it looks like it lets me do, no problem. But there is no rotation due to this style of joint. This looks like that Acerine joint that comes with the Acerine figures. So it does not allow rotation around, just a pivot up and down. It does stand pretty good. Not too bad. Let's go ahead and take a look at his accessories. First, he has the very cool graded stand. It's very awesome. This is one of the best accessories, I think. This is very rough, so it's very irritating to your touch. So it'd give you that graded, you know, spaceship feeling, space station feeling you would find in a heavy war industrial complex. Very cool. And you can connect these together with other of the alien figures, or the Colonial Marine figures, and the Predator figures, and the Injustice figures, and so forth. And it also comes with this I or H bracket that we're always used to seeing that accompanies the stand. These are simply just placed in either on the sides here and here, or on the top, however you want to connect your stands together for your display purposes. He does come with his assault rifle. It's done in black plastic with a silver wash or dry brush. Then he has the green here on the top half and on the end of the stock. These are actually very cool. I do like the sculpt and paint on these. These are very hard plastic. They're not. There's no flexibility at all in this material that's being used here for this weapon. And as you put this gun in and out of his hand, you're definitely going to lose that paint. Just as a heads up, if you guys decide to do that. For display purposes, if you're going to display them, put them in his hand once and leave them there. If you're trying to maintain the integrity of the paint. Taking in and out is definitely going to cause an issue, but you could probably get away with once or twice before the wear starts to really be noticeable. Hicks also comes with that same scanner that the other figures come with. A black scanner. He has a touch of green here and here. Pretty cool looking. Pretty nicely done. Nice sculpt work. They hold these quite well. Check out my Quintero video. He was more friendlier than the three about not risking damage. So I did just show off some of the with the assault rifle and this scanner piece. So it'll show you they hold them pretty basically. There's really not much for the articulation for that. He also has a pistol. It's a black pistol. But unfortunately it does not have a holster on the figure to keep the pistol in, to prevent you from losing it, and for aesthetic purposes or playability. He also has a shotgun that he likes using in the movie. Very nice sculpted. It is a black with a silver wash. This is like a gray, really darker gray, but it's not black. The pump part. Very nicely done. Very cool. And the last accessory that Hicks comes with is his helmet. His helmet does follow suit with the pattern for his armored vest and lower leg armor and knee pads. He also has that device on the side of his helmet, painted with the silver on the front, that Hudson and Quintero has also. Usually the helmet is not a big issue. They sit relatively high on the figures versus I think they should have came down just a bit more, down to at least mid-ear, and maybe added a strap for detail that's hanging down on the side or able to connect it. That would have been a nice feature for these. So let's go ahead and take a comparison look at Hicks and Hudson. This is how they fare together. They look pretty good. Like I said, the only really difference in the three figures, Hudson, Hicks, and Quintero, is that they had sculpts and the markings on their vest. Other than that, you're getting the same figure, every time. These are the first three releases that were released by Hiya Toys. So there are three more that was released like a later date. We'll be taking a look at that. So if you do like these videos of the Colonial Marines, please consider subscribing so you'll get notified when I upload the other three Colonial Marines. Here is Quintero. As you can see how they have those markings on their vest and he does not. But that's how they look together. That's pretty good. Let's go ahead and take a look at all three of them. Okay, there is a look at all three of the figures together. As you can see, they very well. They definitely look like they belong to the same unit for a squad of Colonial Marines. Alright, so let's take a look at how these first offerings from Hiya Toys fare with some of their newer offerings, like their Predator figure. Here's what their Predator figures look like. So they you can tell they actually have a improved on their materials, paint, and sculpt, and overall offerings. And they are definitely quite taller than the Colonial Marines. And also, Hiya Toys produces Injustice 2 figures, and that's how they look together. Superman is a tad bit taller. He's the only one I have currently around and available to show you, but they all scale about the same. If you're interested, here's how they scale with an Nazarene figure. Looks pretty good. These fit right in, unfortunately, but the actual playability is not there. And let's take a look at a Joy Toy Mill figure. That's how they would scale with that. Looks pretty good. And let's take a look and see how he scales with a female of the Joy Toy. In the next three Colonial Marines reviews that will be coming up here in the future, there are one male and two females. So it's going to be nice to take a look at some of the Colonial Marines female figures. So that'd be great. Alright. Alright then, guys, I think that's about all I got for you guys in this review. Hope you guys enjoyed it, the comparisons and the information that I provided for you. If you do, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing the video. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys are staying safe, finding all your collectibles that you desire. So I wish you guys happy hunting. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next review.